Welcome everybody. My name is Andrea Fiumana. I'm CCO for MeetingPackage, and I'm really lucky today. I'm actually in a Sonesta hotel with one of our great partners, Kate Cortez. I'd say hi Kate, but we've been together for the last 8 hours in a meeting. So I just want to say, first and foremost, great to have you on our podcast. But maybe for the audience back everywhere in the world, could you just give them a bit of intro of who you are and what you do within Sonesta?
Sure. My name is Kate Cortez. I'm the Enterprise Application Product Manager here at Sonesta. My overall goal is to look at tech stack, to look at new products, figure out are we using best in class. Hence how I came to meet up with MeetingPackage. And in 8 months, we have moved the needle. So I think that's, in a nutshell, what I've done.
Have you moved our needle, one could say. How did our road trip start with you? Maybe because that actually started a little bit before my time. Maybe you could tell us how we began our journey.
It's an interesting story. We were approached. We were looking at an instant book tool. We had one front of mind. One of my coworkers had asked me if I'd heard of MeetingPackage, introduced me. We looked at their instant book tool. We're kicking the tires of it, looking at it, comparing it with the one that was the kind of the front runner for us. And then about 2 to 3 months later, our global lead passing tool that we were using was not going to be an option. So I called Jonas, the CEO, and said, hey, I've got an interesting proposition. Do you think that this is something you guys could do? Explained in 30 seconds what we needed. And he was like, let me give it some thought. And I'm like, to make this a little more fun, we need it in less than 60 days. So we threw out the challenge, and hence how we got into Sonesta Global Leads. And then we developed more products from there. We saw how easily integratable you were to our environment and to our portfolio, and we just kept adding on pieces.
Yeah. And just to our audience, because they might not know what Sonesta Global Leads is, but that's what we now call within MeetingPackage is group lead passing. But what's its primary goal for you within Sonesta with your franchise base? Why do you need this tool?
We have over 800 hotels with variations between what they have for sales system. And we needed a way that we could send a single lead to 10 different hotels, potentially around the world, or even in the same city, but they had different offerings, in the quickest, easiest way possible to get that piece of business into the hotelier's hands. Yeah. And that's where SGL or group lead passing came into being.
But we know your naming convention is always better than ours. We're learning our lesson in MeetingPackage that maybe we need Kate's advice when we name a new product. But nevertheless, I think now that you've settled in on the product, it's been a few months, what's your, the things that you go, that's really a winning ticket why I bought that? What is for you now that's really helping you support your business team, especially the franchise guys?
I think the biggest thing that we have now that we've never had before is visibility. We can now see when the leads get to a hotel. In the previous system, we didn't know if the email went through, the email notifications. Now we know. We've started calling it a click report. We get a report that shows us if the lead receiver even opened it. Yeah. So then we can escalate that internally for our franchise division to follow up and say, hey, we noticed you got the lead. There's that reach out that now is very pointed. We can help turn the leads. Our conversion rate has definitely gone up. Yeah. We know there's a lot of room for growth, but our biggest thing is our visibility that we didn't have.
You were telling me the other day, people are now calling you instead of you calling them, right?
Yes, which is great. We definitely want them to reach out. The resounding feedback is the tool is very easy to use, but we still have some users that are a little hesitant. They've not dealt with a lot of group business before based on their model. And now we're exposing them to group business that they've never had before. Yeah. So I think that, I don't know that it's indicative of the tool. I think it's more that they're receiving group business that they haven't received.
And then I guess now that you get that visibility side of things, which is very common not to have that. Just thinking of my previous Radisson and Hilton days, you were just throwing it out there. And then if you're getting a response, you were hitting a tick box. But now you can probably more support these hotels because if they're not responding and you can see that, then there's an opportunity for training that's what I'm thinking. But How's that from your side internally?
I think it's done a couple of things. One is it's opened our eyes for what needs training, but I think from a hotelier or a franchisee's perspective, they're getting a more touch point relationship. So we have a division called Franchise Services Manager. Their job is to work that relationship with the franchisee. Previously, before this tool, because we didn't have that insight, a lot of the calls were calls in the dark. You went into the call and didn't really have, I don't want to say a checklist, but some sort of bullet points to talk about. Where now they have pointed information, and I think they're creating a bigger bond between our franchise services manager and the franchisee.
Yeah. Now that you're getting more hotels into the sales platform side of things, how do you foresee the customer ecosystem that we're now ourselves building in towards, where the global leads will be entering into that ecosystem, either a booking engine or even an e-proposal component, or your customers are ending into that ecosystem? Where do you think that's going to add value for Sonesta?
For us, I think it's moving us toward what we call the golden record.
Right.
It's the never-ending question that I think every hotelier wants to answer. How valuable is this account or this client to my portfolio? Meaning, I want to know their transient business. I want to know any leisure stays they've had. I want to know what groups they've been a part of. How valuable are they? Having all of these lead channels feed into one system, and then with the future integrations of that account data with our PMS data, we are going to get to that golden record. That is our goal.
That will make you even more stronger when you come to the opportunities of negotiating or even understanding your valued customer. We've had this conversation over the last 6 months of partnerships, but in your words, what is a win-win?
A win-win for us is that we both end up on the right side of the ledger books, that we're both making money, and that we work toward developing a product or a solution offering that benefits more than just Sonesta.
That actually has been quite inspiring working alongside you, because that has always been a red thread with our conversations, is that you've always given us the opportunity to say, is this transferable? Not for Sonesta specific, but more like industry specific. I think some people will come with their own agenda, but you've really given us that sort of outlook. And from that, I just wanted to just say thank you for that, because I think that makes the partnership even faster. I find your role quite interesting because you're looking at the future. So now that you have MeetingPackage, and then you have obviously your other tech stack. How do you see the future in 1 to 2 years when you look at where you are now and what Sonesta wants to be in the future?
In my ideal world, where I see us is using the Sonesta sales platform for all of our limited service focused hotels. We're going to be growing that franchise division, having integration for the channel manager portion. Unfortunately, we haven't rebranded that with Sonesta yet, but that channel manager piece, integrating with our full service hotels. We need to be able to get leads into our hotels that they can take action on and turn those leads into actualized business quickly and easily for the front line and for the sales teams on property. And then moving more toward integrations, using automation smartly. I think AI has a lot of great capabilities, but I think we also have to be smart about it and moving more toward getting rid of the noise. There is so much administrative stuff that happens in a hotel that if we can take that off the salespeople and the frontline workers and get them back to building the relationships, because I think that's the piece that I see missing.
Yeah.
Is that relationship building. There's no time.
That's actually like you're then really taking away the process management into a quantity and quality management of an employee's job. So I fully agree, and it will be an interesting road ahead, that's for sure. And I just want to say thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to the rest of this year in 2025.
I think we're going to do some great things.
I got a good feeling about this one. So thank you again.